bitter.
And how do you define a balanced drink?
Um,
Balance is bullshit.
we just taste it and we see if it's good.
No one's good as you, Kevin. Welcome back to Bar Talks. I'm here joined by the one, the only, the dapper, the Velvet, Kevin Koss. Bar Talks is a collaboration between myself and 3 Cents, soda artisanal beverages. However, for this episode, we had a bit of a fuck up because the bottle did not make it to Kazakhstan, where we are today for the filming. So in order not to upset my sponsor, here is a bottle of 3 Cents, classic as you can tell. Couple of things to get out of the way. We are in Kazakhstan, in Almaty. We are an archive bar. This used to be a real Soviet Union archive, and now it is a bar. They also do stand-up. They've been lovely enough to let us use their space. Great. Kevin Koss, first and foremost bartender.
Yeah.
I guess YouTuber. The world's greatest mustache. Excelling in all sports and activities within 30 minutes. Sneakily amazing pool player at 4 a.m. And interestingly enough, former American football player for the National League of Slovenia. But before we crack on, I think the most important thing I want to talk about is, in my opinion, you are the newest and loudest voice of bartending when it comes to YouTube, especially in Europe, right? Mm-hmm. Tell us, how the fuck did that happen?
So it started everything like 3.5 years ago. Mm-hmm. When there was a pandemic and we were at home doing nothing. And after 2 weeks of watching Netflix and playing old video games, I soon realized that I have to do something with my spare time. And then one of the distributors in Slovenia sent me a bottle of cognac. And
just randomly?
Yeah, and a small amount of payment in return for a post on Instagram. So what I did was IGTV. I did one episode of Sazerac with a bottle of cognac, and I put it there on IGTV. It was in Slovene back then. I was filming everything with my wife and only with phone. And Robi and Sasho, who are partners in this project, Cocktail Time with Kevin Koss.
We're gonna come back to that later.
Kind of helped me with editing on my phone and with setting the lights or audio and everything. So I did 4 different IGTVs, and then I got a big box of tequila.
Big box of tequila.
Yeah,
What tequila?
Ruster Rojo.
Oh, Ruster Rojo, yeah.
So he sent it to me, and we were like, okay, we have to do something with it. We have to do the unboxing
Drink
episode.
it.
Yeah, of course. After unboxing it, then we gathered together in my apartment, brought all the equipment into the apartment, set up the studio, and start shooting it. And the first question was for which platform we're gonna shoot. And Sasha was more into YouTube. I wasn't so familiar with back then. I even hadn't have any account on YouTube. And then the next question was, in which language are we gonna present everything? And the most obvious was going in English. So because we can have larger audience, since Slovenia is really small. Only
Tell us
2 million
more.
Population. and I'm from Slovenia, from Maribor, really small town.
Well, there's a couple of things that opens up, right? So you do have a background in the industry.
Yeah,
in fact, you still work
in hospitality.
Yeah. Because sometimes, people see YouTube and they see success and they're like, oh, this person's a millionaire now. They can do whatever the fuck they want. So tell us more about what is your actual job.
So I work in hospitality for 17 years now. I started when I was 16 in a small pizza place for a summer job. Then soon after that I went to a coffee place that was owned by my cousin, and he was the first one who brought me into cocktail world. So he taught me how to make some mojitos, Cuba Libres, and I worked there for like 8-9 years. And then I moved 8-9 years.
8-9 years.
So I was working there only during the weekend because I was studying civil engineering in Maribor, in another city.
And so what is your position now in the hospitality industry?
So we have 4 different bars. One is cocktail bar, 2 coffee places, and 1 patisserie. So I'm a product manager. I have meetings with distributors, some trainings with staff, and making seasonal menus.
Cool, okay.
Them, yeah.
And how long have you been with, because you're in charge of 4 venues.
Yeah, I started there in 2017 as a head bartender in Niagara Cocktail Bar. So this was the first cocktail bar in the city, in Maribor. So when I came there, I changed the perspective of the cocktails in the city, because back then there were a lot of Mai Tais not made properly. Blue Hawaiians and all these tropical cocktails weren't made properly. So I changed it a bit into more classic cocktails, made it made properly. I got a lot of fresh bartenders. I started to teach them, and they become really good bartenders. And they're,
if you say so yourself.
Yeah.
Just fucking with you. Well, so even though you have what looks like a fairly successful YouTube channel from the outside, you still have to work in hospitality.
Yeah.
To make money. Maybe what we see on the outside is not as bright and beautiful. How do you find the time?
It's hard. I work almost 24/7. I work every day, full day during the week. I try to be with my family during weekends. So we film every second week for Monday and Tuesday, so 2 days straight. And we post every weekend, every Friday. So I had to do a new episode or new signature drink or new technique or new homemade ingredient every week.
Most of us encountered you through YouTube. And you kind of appeared on the scene, appeared in our eyes very fast. What was the moment that it all blew up for you? What was the viral hit?
So yeah, I didn't do any seminars before that. So that's all thanks to YouTube and thanks to social media. And the viral moment was for sure Super Juice episode. That kind of blew up.
What was the Super Juice episode?
So Super Juice episode is our most successful episode. So it's about juice, how to use the whole fruit, the whole citrus, to get the most out of it. To save some time, to save some money, and to be more sustainable.
And so that was your number one. But you do more than that. There's a Kevin Koss Cocktail Time website, and then you have a calculator, right?
Yeah. We did a calculator, and we still have a lot of calculators there for syrups, for batch cocktails, for homemade ingredients, or liqueurs, and then for juices. And juice calculators are quite successful over there.
How much hits do you get on that page?
For using all calculators together in general, there are like 20,000 people using it monthly.
Right, that's crazy.
And they're all for free.
We're plugging this. If you want to know what Super Juice is, if you want to batch cocktails, homemade ingredients, go on Kevin's website, check out the calculators, because we know you're bartenders, we know you're lazy. And so, was there any other stuff when it comes to before and after? I mean, like, are bartenders reaching out to you? Do you answer a lot of DMs? Like, what's some of the weird stuff that you've had?
I get quite a lot of DMs and emails. If I'm willing to do signature drink for some payment for their competition.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I think that's bartender next level lazy. Like, we know bartenders don't want to submit on time. If they can submit the cocktail recipe 1 minute before. But imagine having the audacity. I'm gonna DM Kevin Koss and I'm gonna go, hey Kevin, I'll give you money. Make me a cocktail for a comp.
The funniest part about this was that once 2 different bartenders reached out to me for the same competition.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Imagine if you were the judge. Yeah. Was there any recipes that you saw online and you tried it and you're like, this is shit, this doesn't work?
A lot of them.
Give me one.
Most of them.
Most of them?
Yeah.
Total garbage.
Not total garbage, but still not as good as I would expect.
Was there one that you were like particularly had to change a lot to get the effect that they were saying they were getting?
Usually I don't do the exact recipe that I'm finding on internet. So I'm looking for inspiration and then doing something on my own. But what I'm finding out that a lot of bartenders can't do a balanced drink, which is the most important thing, I think. They can balance it. They're good with flavor pairings and so on, but they can balance it with sweet and sour and bitter.
And how do you define a balanced drink?
To to be well balanced, to be sweet enough, to be not
That's cool,
too
but that's
sour, not too
because everybody.
not too bitter.
Okay, so but with sweet and sour we can kind of measure, right? pH.
Yeah.
But bitterness, we don't have like a probe,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So for you, how do you define
We
balance?
don't need to measure it. We just taste it and we see if it's good.
No one's as good as you, Kevin. Kevin, you're a super juice guy.
Yeah,
Tell me
but
this.
still, that we're bartenders. We have to balance things, not only cocktails.
I don't want to do a guest shift tonight. That's it. I don't want to. My drink's gonna be shit.
No, I think you're good.
No, the reason I say this is I have a seminar about creativity, and one of my I have this thing in there where I'm like, balance is bullshit, and what we do is I give a whole crowd a premix. I'm like, I just took lemon juice, I took sugar syrup, I didn't measure, I went, here's what turned out, try that, and I give everyone in the room a taste.
Yeah.
Then I go, cool, here's some lemon juice, here's some sugar syrup. Can you please balance it to your taste? And they all balance it. And then they taste it, and I'm like, cool, can you swap with the person next to you? Then you swap with that one, and they all swap. Can you taste someone else's? They try it, they're like, do you think that's balanced? And most of the time, they all disagree amongst each other. Then I tell them that I lied, and that in fact, that was 1-to-1. But we know 1-to-1 is pretty sweet, realistically, if you're using 2-to-1 sugar syrup. And so the intention of that entire process is to say, all of your sweet and sour balance is different. If we know that 1-to-1 with 1-to-1 syrup is like the industry standard, but if you're from Spain, you usually prefer sweeter. If you're from Paris, you usually have a drier palate, right? Scandinavia tends to have a drier palate sometimes. Knowing yourself and knowing your sweet and sour balance, like you should be able to balance drinks. Like for example, I love sugar. So when I try to drink, I'm like, that needs a bit of sugar. I'm gonna not add any because I know that I have a personal preference of sugar.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know, but still, we tried a couple of cocktails in the past 3 days, right?
Yeah.
And we agreed on every drink that this one is too sour or this one is too sweet and this one is
Yeah, more or
unbalanced.
less. Yeah.
See?
But it's hard though. But like, cause taste is so personal, right? It's so.
No, but we have some kind of deviation inside of the tastes, if I can say so. So you maybe like more sweeter drinks, and I don't. I'm more into the sour, dry part. But still, we kind of notice it. Which one is unbalanced, and which one is too sweet, or which one is too dry. Even though we have different taste buds or different tastes.
But that's exactly my point. Even though me and you agree, and we have difference in preferences, we're going into a bar and the drinks aren't balanced, and and the question is, why?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm always like, okay, as engineers, when we see a problem, we're like, how do we solve it?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's different opinions, but still, we have to be somewhere into the.
How do you teach balance to your bartenders?
What I teach them is to prepare all the syrups into the same bricks, for example. So all the sugar syrup, it's 1-to-1 syrup, and syrup with some taste, or syrup with some fruit flavor, and honey syrup, and all other syrups as well, has to be 50 bricks, in my opinion. So we can have this kind of the same recipe, and we'll still kind of nailed the sweetness into the drink. So we are doing it in advance, making all the syrups sweet in the same sweetness, and that's how we balance. That's how we nail the balance in the drink.
Right.
And it's the same with super juice, because when you're buying lemons or limes, sometimes they're more sweet, sometimes they're more dry, right? More sour, and sometimes the sour drink will be too sweet. But on the other hand, sometimes it will be too dry. With super juice, you will get the same amount of acidity every time.
Right, yeah. Stability, consistency is key.
Consistency, exactly.
You also are known for social media, for YouTube. So how do people approach you? How do people talk to you? What do you think about BCB? What do you think about 50 Best Bars? How do you, do you even give a shit? And why would you? Because it's, does that make sense?
Yeah. I follow all these competitions. So because I like it, but still it's not my it's not the goal that everyone should try to reach it.
Yeah.
So not every bar needs to chase for this goal. So yeah, we don't need to elevate. We don't need to reach chase for this dream or for this competition, this title, because if your bar is doing well, if you're selling a lot of drinks, and if your customers are happy, that's the most important thing you need, right? Because you're doing it for
Well,
money.
yeah, it's a business.
Yeah, it's a business. So you don't need a plaque or some award on your back bar. It's good, for sure it's good, but it's not the necessary thing.
So YouTube is even helping you get into more like the international scene a little bit. Tell us about the Slovenian bar scene.
We have like 15 to 20 bartenders, or maybe even more, but these are a really good one. We actually don't have a proper, or maybe just one proper only cocktail bar. More of them like cafes in the morning and then cocktails during the evenings. Even Niagara cocktail bar is not only a cocktail bar; it's a nightclub. So I was doing cocktails during the week, and then during the weekends I was mixing easy mixes, Jack and Coke, Jaeger Cola, and after up until 5 o'clock in the morning.
I think that for those watching this, I think this is the first time we see the Kevin Koss in this format, right? Unscripted, no teleprompter. Because you use the internet so well, and you see like, what does Kevin Koss want? What do they want? What do you want, man?
In the first place, I want more time.
Okay, for cocktails.
For the family, and then I would like to visit Nordic countries. I haven't been there yet.
What's exciting for you in the bar industry right now?
Exciting to see young generation and seeing then how they will develop and how will they will filter all the information they can get all around the world. Because like you and me, we are the same age.
Yeah,
we are structured different.
Old fucks.
Yeah, old fucks. Yeah, and it's interesting. It will be interesting to see where this generation will go on, and how will all these competitions like top 50 or something keep on going with this young generation.
Cool. All right. Hello, friends of cocktails.
It's cocktail time.
It's cocktail time. Thanks so much, bro.
Thank you.
Take it easy.
Thank you for having me.
And now it's time to ruin his liver again. Let's see if we can find a pool. We're going to karaoke today.